Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. Today we are taking a look at a first-round NFL mock draft by Charles Davis, who apparently had the most accurate NFL mock draft in the 2021 draft class. So we're taking a look at what he has to offer, giving you guys our thoughts and opinions. Before we get into the mock, obviously we appreciate all the support you guys have given the channel. If you guys do like the content, subscribe. Let us know in the comment section what y'all are thinking about the prospects. 700 subscribers. That's so sick. Dale and I just talking ball. I'm so happy that you guys like to listen along. Dale, Jacksonville Jaguars, Travon Walker, rip it apart.
Nope. I don't even see how you can have him in the top three edge rushing prospects. I'd argue he's probably outside the top five personally. You got to see play on the field. You really saw almost nothing on the edge in terms of pass rushing ability, and all you're doing is judging traits.
Yep, I think that's pretty standard. I mean, he's really good in run defense, but it's just how are you going to draft a guy that doesn't have those elite pass rush moves already available? Like, he's a project. Are you going to draft a number one overall guy as a kind of a project? I think he does have a high ceiling or a high floor. Like, I think he'll be solid in run defense. He'll be a solid player, but I think looking at this,
not when you have three guys who look like they're going to be possible all pros and have already played at an all pro level in college. Yeah. I don't see how you do that.
Yeah, if Aidan Hutchinson's here, the Detroit Lions are just absolutely smashing it. A guy that just fits the culture. The more Dan Campbell videos I see, the more they're my second favorite team. If Aidan Hutchinson goes to Detroit Lions, I'm getting a jersey. And I am a Detroit Lions fan because I love the direction this team's going. And with Aidan Hutchinson, my favorite college football player of all time, like, it's a lock. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. This is a dynamite pick. I really hope this happens, to be honest.
What a gem if they end up with him. That'd be so good.
Number 3, Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'm happy to see this because it seems like the media has taken this by storm, saying Kayvon Thibodeaux is like a problem off the field. When he's just being a 21-year-old guy who has a huge following, he's marketing himself. I think just NFL coaches and GMs are a little scared of that. The one problem I see when I watch him is there are droughts in his game where he's like, Aidan Hutchinson didn't have droughts. Like, he was pretty dominant, pretty disruptive every game, all the snaps. Kayvon Thibodeaux definitely had some droughts where it's like, where's Kayvon Thibodeaux at right now? But then
the one thing about what Kayvon had to deal with is they pretty much didn't give him a ton of chances to rush one-on-one. Yeah. And that was a function of there's not a very good D-line outside of him. Yeah. At Michigan, you kind of had 3-4 other guys who could kind of take care of it. So Hutch did have opportunities to go to work. And I do think Kayvon was like much more how Jadeveon Clowney was played in his final year of college, where teams schemed him out and they would sprint him out opposite ways and just have like a tight end on him generally. So I think that did hurt him. And again, when he was balling, he's as good as anyone from this draft, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's former number one. Probably, he's still a stud. He's still an absolute stud. I think the Texans have to go with him at 3, unless they might go with Kyle Hamilton. Ikem Ekwonu going forward to the Jets. This one's kind of a weird one. I get the motive where it's like build around Kyle Hamilton, use your top 5 pick to put somebody around. I said build around Kyle Hamilton, build around Zach Wilson. And you have a top 5 pick, go get somebody who you can build with. And Ikem Ekwonu, like, I'm warming up to him being the number 1 overall tackle. The more I watch, the more just crazy power this dude has in his game. If you want to establish the run, Ikem Ekwonu is the guy you want to establish the run with because he's just a body mover.
I'm just not ready to jump ship so hard like all these people on Mekhi Becton. Like, when he's healthy, he's looked pretty good in the pros. So
yeah,
I think you got to give him another year. I think you got to go defense, probably secondary, honestly, and see if you can.
Here has to be the pick. I don't know.
If you can prevent teams from scoring 50 on you generally. So
we'll talk about because it's such a position of need, and we'll talk about because I have some takes on Kyle Hamilton, how much he can bring to a defense. Number 5, Evan Neal. Again, I know the Giants worked Charles Cross out at right tackle at his pro day. And we obviously have Charles Cross as our number 1 offensive tackle. But for a right tackle, I'm okay with Evan Neal going over Charles Cross. Just as a fit, like, I want Charles Cross being a left tackle and just protecting the blind side of the quarterback because he's the best pass protector in the game. I'm a little bit more okay with Icky or Evan Neal being drafted ahead of him if it's for that right tackle spot, which New York Giants probably taking him there.
Yeah, also, I mean, I imagine the Giants are going to want to run the ball again. When their offense looked at least decent, it was when they were going heavy and running the ball. So if they want to do that,
Evan Neal.
you got to go Evan Neal.
Absolutely. The Panthers take Malik Willis as the first quarterback off the board. I think this is what's going to happen just because of the ceiling that Malik Willis has. The more I watch Sam Howell, the more I see like Sam Howell has equally as much ceiling, I think, as Malik Willis. Maybe he's not the athlete, but like in terms of arm talent, Sam Howell is a howitzer. I think Matt Rule needs to go Malik Willis here. Just in terms of like,
you think Sam Howell is like in the topic for being number one quarterback taken?
No, I don't think so. I think because if you're going like highest floor or highest ceiling, I mean, you're taking Malik Willis, and if you're going with QB ready, you're taking Kenny Pickett. And so it's just
I agree.
Really crack that.
I don't think Sam Howell just didn't look anywhere near as good as he did as a freshman the next 2 years. So
yeah,
that's not great.
But in terms of like Matt Rule keeps his job, if you take Charles Cross here as your left tackle and you go have another losing season and you look kind of pathetic, like Matt Rule is done. But if he takes Malik Willis and have a losing season, he probably gets another year to develop Malik Willis. So in terms of like Matt Rule's job security, I feel like Matt Rule might just go Malik Willis. Yeah. And I'm okay with it. Again, you guys know how I feel about Malik Willis. I think this guy's one of the only quarterbacks in the class who can be special. I don't see any special traits out of the other guys. I think Malik Willis has it a little bit. So taking him at 6, first quarterback off the board, I'm all right with. New York Giants go get Jermaine Johnson. This is a good pick. We obviously have him as our third edge defender off the board. Complete prospect, great in the run game, great as pass rusher, dominant in the ACC, pretty straight up. This is chalky.
Position of need.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
it's
you
like
fit everything.
Yeah. This is where Atlanta, I wonder where they go because they have a ton of holes in the roster. Probably one of the worst put together rosters in my opinion, especially with Matt Ryan gone. The wide receiving room is just a joke. I mean, with no Calvin Ridley, it is really bad. Like it's Kyle Pitts at tight end and then nobody. And so I'm okay with Garrett Wilson. But I also think there's some stuff at the defensive line they could address. I actually had Travon.
Not with that pick though.
Yeah.
Not at this point. This is how you see the draft shaking.
Yep. How the draft has fallen, it would be tough. I think Travon Walker would be a good fit here because the Falcons have been horrible against the run for years. They've been horrible in the pass rush for years. And so I think like Travon Walker checks both those boxes. Yeah, he's not the best pass rusher, but he's great in the run game. I know you don't like him, but if he's like that fourth edge available, I think the Falcons could go there. But with Jermaine Johnson, KT, Travon Walker, and Hutch all gone by pick 7, probably got to go wide receiver because wide receiver 1's on the board, Garrett Wilson. Number 9, Sauce Gardner. Probably just a best player available. Seattle's in complete rebuild mode. I could see them.
Yeah, for all those Derek Stingley haters, like the guy's a freak athlete, so I don't know why all these people up in arms. That cemented. I mean, he's always been cornerback 1 for me, so I still think that. But I don't know if all these people in the pro day, he didn't want to do it. He's not going to test well. Like he was a freak. He looked awesome.
I think we all knew he was going to test well. It's like is he going to test?
Well, he did, and he was like.
One take on Sauce Gardner that rises Sauce a little bit up for me, and how I can see him being cornerback 1 taken is you have a top 10 pick. You don't want to miss with those top 10 picks. And I think Sauce Gardner has a much lower chance of just completely missing than Stingley does. I don't think Stingley will miss either. And I think Stingley's ceiling is just dummy high. I mean, his ceiling is best quarterback in the league. I think Sauce Gardner can be one of the better quarterbacks in the league too. But I think Sauce Gardner is super safe. I mean, he's not missing. He's going to be a good cornerback for a while. And so that's the reason why I can see a team taking him over Stingley. Just how much do you value safety versus ceiling? And Pete Carroll's always been a conservative dude. This is how he's been, how he runs his offense.
It's fair. Yeah,
one thing I add is Kenny Pickett could be the pick here because I think Kenny Pickett's right up what Pete Carroll's alley is. Like, give me a quarterback who's not a gunslinger, who's going to make the right reads, get the ball out on time and accurate. That's Kenny Pickett. That's his game. And that's kind of what Pete Carroll looks for in a quarterback. Number 10, Derek Stingley. This would be a good pick. They go offensive line, and then they go get a cornerback who's going to be cornerback 1 immediately. A ton of talent.
Yeah, certainly fine.
Check the box, and yeah.
They need help there so bad, so they're definitely going there.
I don't know how we feel about Derek Stingley. We still have a top 5 grade on him. And then Kyle Hamilton falls to 11, which I think is just crazy. I think the Jets could go Kyle Hamilton over Stingley.
I think they're going to go Kyle Hamilton at 4, and if they can get both of them, they should do it. So
yeah, my favorite drafts I put together is like Hamilton at 4, Garrett Wilson at 10. That's kind of like what I really liked out of the Jets. But Kyle Hamilton just allows you to do so much on defense. I mean, he can walk into the box and be great in run support. He can. I watched him in the Cincinnati film, like really good in man coverage in the slot. He can play center field. Like, I'm not worried about the range because the instincts are there. Even if he doesn't have like crazy straight line.
What do you mean? But the range was there.
Yeah,
like, I don't even know what that means.
I'm saying like he can play center field, cover 1, and have that range because you saw it.
Yeah, but it's not because of instinct. It's because he legit covers ground whatever his 40 set. Like, he just does.
I think this is it, but his instincts are off the chart. Like, he just gets.
Yeah, they're great.
He's
also like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, he is a top 5 player on our board. This would be a steal for the Commanders. Minnesota Vikings go get Trent McDuffie, cornerback 3 on our board. This is a little bit unfortunate for how this draft goes with them, since only one quarterback goes. You don't really have the premier edge talent, nor is Stingley or Sauce Gardner there. And so they're kind of having to settle with cornerback 3, who I think is definitely like a significant step below Stingley and Sauce. And then you're also not getting a Jermaine Johnson or Travon Walker.
Yeah, this wouldn't shake out well if they can't get one of those 3 or 4 guys.
That would be a tough one. But McDuffie's a good player. But it's just like you wishing you got Sauce or Stingley.
It's a good pick at this point, but it would just be unfortunate.
Best pass protecting. See, I'm happy you said that. The best pass protecting. Like, most people agree with that. I just don't get why he's being valued so low. Like, it matters how the tackle protects a quarterback. Give me a tackle who's rock solid and pass pro versus a tackle who can road grade all day. That's my take on the tackle class. Charles Cross falling to 13. The Texans get their future franchise tackle, and now it's time to build because Charles Cross is awesome. The athleticism's there, the feet's there, anchor's there. I mean, he just checks all the boxes. The more I watch
I don't think there's any shot he's making it to 13. I also think like the Vikings even at that point could take him. I know it's not a huge position in need, but God, it's value there.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go, Jordan Davis. This is my pick.
This is Dill's
I'll
pick.
ride for this pick.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Jordan Davis, again, kind of like Kyle Hamilton. Yes, he brings a lot of he's a good player, but I think he allows you to do stuff on defense that a lot of teams can't always do. You can play too high on 1st and 10 and not worry about the run game because that's how dominant Jordan Davis is inside. He's really hard to run between the tackles as Jordan Davis. A fresh Jordan Davis on the field is going to be an absolute menace to teams trying to run the ball. It's going to free up those young linebackers too for the Ravens. Jordan Davis impacts the game so much more in the stat sheet, and I'm kind of mad at myself for taking that view of, he doesn't produce sacks. He's not,
because those haters on the SEC championship and the title game,
that one play,
just like they were picking him out on plays this Alabama scored touchdown. Oh, look at Jordan Davis not trying. I don't know. It's been a 10-play drive. He's been on the field every play.
And I think
God forbid he's a little tired.
Just the impact that he has on the game that doesn't show up in the stat sheet is something that I think people just need to be a little the more I watch them, the more it's people can't run the ball in Georgia, and it's they have a great front 7, but it's led by Jordan Davis. Just taking.
He also can rush the passer when he's fresh, and he's a spry guy at the side.
And again, you said that as the game slows down pace wise, and he's also you said it right. You can develop that. He's a freak athlete. He tested like that. You see it. You can teach him how to rush at a high level. 15, Eagles go get Devonte Wyatt, his running mate. I actually don't mind it. I know you're not as big of a Devonte Wyatt fan.
No, I'm not. I'm going back through. I've cleaned my memory of him. I mean, I don't have an opinion anymore.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that I like to see at the Senior Bowl just dominate because I don't think Georgia asked him to do that much in terms of being disruptive. His get-off's crazy. Being able to split gaps and get into the backfield's nuts. I think he's a really good player. Without McDuffie on the board, without those cornerbacks on the board, I think Devonte Wyatt at 15 would be a good spot.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine pick.
Yes. You guys know how much this guy has our ranks. Chris Olave, wide receiver 2. That's not a very popular take within the draft community.
Really?
It's crazy. Yeah, Drake London's like wide receiver too. Chris Olave.
Oh yeah, that DraftKings prop having him at 10.5. Come on.
But it's not just that. It's not just it's just the media, the NFL scouts. Like they have Drake London above Olave, and I don't even know how you're just like. I don't know how Garrett Wilson is considered that much better than Chris Olave, to be honest, because they're both really good, play very similar games. But this would be a great pick for the Saints if you're trying to build around Jameis Winston. Getting a guy like Chris Olave, stacking with Michael Thomas, you have two guys who can separate extremely well. Mike Thomas a little bit more of a bigger body. Chris Olave also brings that game-breaking speed, like blowing the top off the defense. You guys know how we feel about Chris Olave. If you don't, go check out our wide receiver ranks.
Chris Olave's the best.
All right, Jeff. Dude, I don't know if you've been seeing in the comments section, but people are kind of on board with you with Trevor Penning. They're out at him.
I mean, he's a guard. He's probably going to be a guard in the NFL. The one chance he got to shine as a tackle, he did very much the opposite of shine against Iowa State. And I don't know where people saw like this like fleet-footed big man, because he's really not the most fleetest of foot. He's just big and lean.
Yeah, and he has some serious work to do because it just seems a little sloppy, especially when he can't just physically dominate the FCS players. And I've said this before, but everyone's like, oh, he popped during the Senior Bowl. Like I watched a lot of his reps during the Senior Bowl, and like I didn't think he like overly popped. I watched the Senior Bowl game. I watched the week's practice. Like I didn't see it. It's so funny how the NFL media works because you saw him getting mocked up to like 7 for the Giants, and it's just mad.
It's so crazy.
Andrew Booth, this is a little rich for him. Personally, he is the next cornerback off the board. There's been cornerbacks that are kind of flying off the board. I think the Eagles need to get a cornerback. If I'm the Eagles, I'm hoping McDuffie's there at 15 as opposed to Andrew Booth at 18.
I don't really see McDuffie going. I think McDuffie will be there for this pick, and I agree with you. I think that's probably the move. Just more solid, better looking. Like I think you have less questions, and that's.
I didn't think Andrew Booth's film was that good, quite frankly. I know he got beat a decent amount. I mean, I know he's a good athlete. He's smooth. But, NC State wide receivers, like those physical wide receivers, they kind of fed him a little bit. I didn't think – I think he's much closer to like a back half, 25 to 32 as opposed to 18. But he is a position of need and a very important position of need. He is the next best cornerback on the board. So take him at 18. I guess I get it, but I wouldn't be thrilled if I'm the Eagles.
Yeah, especially you can take a linebacker or some other spot. They have needs.
This guy's falling. I get why he's falling because I don't think you see the special traits that the other edge guys have that I think George Karlaftis just doesn't have. Like the ability to have that burst and win around the edge isn't quite there. He's more of a guy that's going to be really heavy. And this is a perfect pick for the Saints because that's what they value. Marcus Davenport, Cam Jordan. Like those guys.
They're big, heavy guys.
Will go right through you as opposed to around you. And so if that's what it's kind of like what the Bills value. They value those bigger DNs who have the heavy, powerful hands as opposed to like the bursty, bendy guys. In terms of that, George Karlaftis is that guy. And he probably has a very similar game to Cameron Jordan.
So, this you're getting decent value here. This is kind of where it feels like it makes sense. Like
my only question is like, I know they need tackle. But they're just not going to get.
Where are you going to go? There's nowhere to go in.
In my last mock, I had them packaging 16 and 19 and go up to 7 and take Evan Neal. I wonder what they're going to do because I think the Saints are scheming. I don't know why else they'd get another pick this year unless they're just trying to make it push maybe because this is the year that they could possibly win if Jameis Winston can stay healthy because the roster's good. The roster's really
– the defense is incredible. If they can just get a bit out of their offense, they'd be really tough.
Steelers go get Kenny Pickett, the hometown kid from Pittsburgh. That would make sense. I mean, I don't know. Are you going to go?
I feel like they're trading up. The more I watch, I think Mike Tomlin, and I don't know. It could be like I just saw a video of him like looking impressed at Malik's pro day, but
he's been dogging.
I feel like there's a good chance they make a run up because that position's been so bad. And they got Mitch Trubisky, but that was obviously a rental and. Yeah. We'll see. Or I feel like it was.
I think that makes sense. That's exactly what it is. He's literally a rental. You get a rookie, maybe Trubisky starts 1 year, but I think even during that year, you'll probably see whatever rookie they take. And I think you're right. Mike Tomlin really has his eyes out for Malik Willis. Reports at the Senior
And
Bowl.
it's a good roster. It's a roster that can be really competitive right now. And if that's who you like, yeah, you might as well go make a run.
No, the problem is it's a loaded division in the AFC North.
Yes.
Ravens, Browns, like those are all quality teams. There's no free wins.
Oh, no, the Browns are very much.
Browns
No, they're like good now. I forgot about that.
It's hard. It's
that changes it.
The Patriots go get Devin Lloyd. That
makes sense.
It's a chalky pick. I think that's kind of the type of guy. It's a good fit. We've seen that mocked a lot. Not our linebacker one, but that is kind of the type of player that the Patriots do value.
He feels very much Kyle Van Noy, but can actually play linebacker, like kind of guy. So that's what I think he can blitz. He does the versatility that they want.
Jahan Dotson comes in over. He's at wide receiver 3.
Thank you.
James and Drake London.
Yeah, as he should be.
I had the Packers trading up to get Olave, and I still think that's what they should do.
No, I don't think you trade up when I mean, if you want Olave, you just stay there and pick Dotson. I get that he's not quite as good.
I might be hating on Dotson too much because if Dotson played in the Ohio State offense, or if Dotson played in the Alabama,
he would have put up $1,500 a year like Olave did.
Yeah, like Dotson's awesome. It's just Sean Clifford stinks. I mean, Jahan Dotson was the only offensive playmaking ability on that team. The running backs stunk. Offensive line wasn't great. Quarterback was just below average. Jahan Dotson was literally being the only source of explosion in that offense. Jahan Dotson's awesome. I'm happy to see this.
Yeah, so why are you saying you should trade up to like 10 to pick Olave?
Maybe I'm rethinking that because I would love to see Jahan Dotson in Olave's shoes, like in that Ohio State roster. But I do love Chris Olave. The more I watch him, he's just so clean. Arizona
Olave is great.
London. See, I don't know if I love this fix. I think Hopkins and Drake London play a very similar brand of football. They're really heavy on the contested catch, the ball skills. And then Rondell.
Yeah, you're picking the same guy. And you need like a pure wideout kind of like not like a possession guy who's not as predicated on big plays like those two.
Yeah.
Not that DeAndre Hopkins isn't, but I think, when your third is Rondell Moore, I don't feel like AJ Green is still really playing. And
I heard a really interesting analogy where modeling your wide receiving, your pass catching unit like a basketball team. Like having one guy who's a big guy, like a center, go up and catch balls. Then you have a guy who's like more of a point guard, shoot and then it was an interesting analogy, and I kind of like think the Cardinals are.
I don't actually agree with that because like if I could have 5 Olaves, that's what I'd have. I'd have 5 guys who can win every route.
That's probably
feels like that makes more sense, but that's why I think they need a guy so bad who's just more of a like an Olave, Dotson, Garrett, like route running specialist kind of thing.
Yep, and then you're able to find a spot for Rondell Moore, which on yesterday's episode we talked Rondell Moore and how they're just really struggling to find him a spot in the offense. I think if you get a Hopkins, pair him up with a wide receiver too who can run clean routes like an Olave or Wilson, and then you can put Rondell Moore in the slot. I hope they figure out what to do with Rondell Moore because I think
you just pick one. You can pick a wide out in the second round too in this draft. It's pretty deep.
Yeah, that is very true. Sky Moore would be a good fit there. I think maybe. Zion Johnson to the Cowboys. We've been having conversations with everybody in the chat. Zion, are you taking Zion Johnson? Are you taking Kenyon Green? They end up going with Zion Johnson. I'm personally in the Kenyon Green camp just because I think Kenyon Green's a little bit more of a playmaker in terms of like having those high impact blocks. I think he impacts the game a little bit more than Zion Johnson will. That being said, Zion Johnson is a much safer pick. Like I'm very confident Zion Johnson comes in week 1 and is a plus interior offensive lineman.
The thing is with Kenyon Green, you get a guy who is in my opinion, a pretty significantly better athlete. But I know you disagree with that, but it's obvious. Just watch the tape. You got a left tackle versus a left guard.
What do you think about Jameson Williams going 25 to the Bills?
Nope. I don't get the Bills need a wideout take. You got Diggs. And Gabe Davis really started to come on into like that deep threat guy I know he's not a flyer, but
that's my big thing. If Gabe Davis didn't really emerge as a guy you can count on, I'd be in the wide receiver camp for sure. Not necessarily in the wide receiver camp, but I'd be much more okay with this pick. I do think it's interesting to see because Jameson Williams, like if he's here at 25, I would not complain too much because that'd be awesome to have in our offense. But
it'd be a fun pick, but I just think we can score at will with or without him. That's my problem.
Yeah. Go get Kyrie Lamb, I think.
Tyler
Smith, the guy that's rising up.
Dylan, Tyler Linderbaum on the board. Like, come on.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Tyler Smith's a guy that has all the potential in the world. We've talked about it. He is a rogue. They refer to him as a rogue grader. He is a rogue grader. Has all the power in the world.
This is no disrespect. I actually think Tyler Smith very likely will be a very good guard, if not a tackle. I don't think you've seen tackle ability, but I also think that might have been Tulsa's fault. Yeah, I just don't think when you have Tyler Linderbaum on this board, like, God, that guy was so good in college. I don't get how you can pass him up.
Kenny Green,
center.
Or Kenny Green. If you're saying Tyler Smith's a guard, I would probably have Kenny Green, especially with what Tennessee want to do. David Ajabo going.
Love it. I don't think they'll take him now with Tom Brady back because they want a guy to make an impact year one.
Yep.
But
I agree. Well, who's your pick there? I think a Tyler Linderbaum.
You go Linderbaum or Kenyon Green is probably the most sensible, right?
Yeah, because they need that interior offensive line addressed. But I kind of agree with Brady coming back. I'm not going to take a guy that adds probably zero value to your team. I don't think he'll come back. So I don't know the value.
That's the unfortunate thing. Like, it makes it really hard for a Bills, a Packers, a Buccaneers, like those type of teams to take a David Ojabo late, just because they need guys to play now with their salary cap situations and what they're trying to do.
Specifically, the Buccaneers, who they're not planning on being competitive for the next couple. Like, this is their year. However long Brady in Tampa, that's their window, and then it's probably up for a little bit. And so you don't get many windows in the NFL. You got to be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
The Packers go get Kenyon Green. I like it.
Yep.
I like the pick, especially addressing wide receiver first. Get A.J. Dillon running behind Kenyon Green. Come on now.
A.J. Dillon. Come on.
All right, Aaron Jones, fine.
They're going to get a new running back.
Boy, Moth is a tough one for us. We don't see it as much as other scouts or other draft analysts do.
I don't see it.
I always say, and I'll say it again, Boy Mafe stayed 5 years, and to be dubbed a freak athlete, and everyone's saying, oh, he's a freak. I didn't necessarily see it on the film. Like, he had decent film, but it's day 2 film. But then he tested like a freak. Like, he had really good testing numbers. But people don't stay 5 years if they're that freaky. His film wasn't day 1 film.
I think they're Traylon Burks or Drake London's the pick for them at this point. I think that's 2 really, really good value picks for a position they desperately need now.
Let's talk about that real quick. Like, the Kansas City Chiefs, they go get Christian Watson at 30, but they're certainly in that boat where if you wanted to go trade up for Jameson Williams to kind of replace Tyreek Hill, you have the capital to do it. And I'd be perfectly fine with the Bills trading down.
Because they'll probably get some cornerback.
You get Kyrie Lamb here. That's fine with me. Or go get Roger McCreary.
I'm not 100% sure trading after the Bills pick gets them JMO, but
with the Chiefs
probably need to get higher.
With the Chiefs being behind 2 Packers picks, I think potentially wide receivers on the board for the Cardinals, for the Cowboys, for the Steelers, and Patriots. Like, wide receivers on the board for all those teams. Like, you probably are going to have to trade up if you want to get one of those top 6 guys for lumping Dotson in with that top 5 group.
Fair.
And so we'll see what they do. I'm guessing you'll see the Packers and Chiefs trade up for the guy they want, because both those teams are like, they need a wide receiver bad. They need a wide receiver 1. They can't afford to wait.
So bad.
Christian Watson falls there, because I don't think Christian Watson's a 1. Christian Watson's a little bit of a project, quite frankly. Yeah, he's big and fast, but I don't think he moves. I don't think he gets out of breaks as well as people like to give him credit for it. I have some questions about that in terms of he just didn't produce that much either in North Dakota State, which wasn't necessarily his fault.
It's just like, good guys on the board. Like Traylon Burks played really high level in the SEC. So they probably need a guy who makes some plays down the field.
I love this. I would go get a Bengals jersey too then. I'm on the Tyler Linderbaum falling to 31. If the Bengals are in that mode of let's get a player that's going to take us over the hump, Tyler Linderbaum's that guy. Again,
what about your pick the corner and sign the O-line?
I love the Creed Humphrey comp there. Not necessarily because they're the same player, which they actually play a little bit similarly, but it's
Tyler Linderbaum is much more physical than Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, but to the same
and athletic.
Humphrey was clearly center one. Is it always a center? So he's fallen. He was all pro.
Yeah, fair.
Sick.
Yeah, fair.
And Tyler Linderbaum's gonna be the same guy. He's gonna fall, but he's gonna be one of the best centers in the league next year, and it's a lock. I'm interested to see where Tyler Linderbaum goes. I think it'd be a damn shame if he falls to 31.
He's not. I just don't see it. He was so good.
He was so good, but teams don't value the center. Like same thing with Creed Humphrey. And
then the media doesn't value it. The teams do.
The Detroit
centers get paid pretty good.
Detroit Lions take Matt Corral at 32. You guys know, I would have liked Nakobe Dean there. Again, in my opinion, I'll say it one more time. I've said it a lot. Just wait one more year. The quarterback class isn't good. You guys are probably going to be bad next year, which is okay. So it's the process. Take like the Sixers. You got to trust the process. Have a couple down years. I think they have a serious opportunity to build a really deep roster, a complete roster with the picks they have. And that's where the value is, like 32 to 60. There's some really, really good depth players in this draft class. Go round out your roster, maybe have another down year, and then go up and get Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. I wouldn't even mind if they acquired some more draft capital for next year. So that even if they are a 4-1 team and are picking at 8 and they probably don't get Bryce Young, they can trade up to go get Bryce Young.
They better lose some games because they should want desperately Bryce Young or
CJ Stroud. Like the quarterback next year, I'm excited to get into 2023 because I think in terms of like top heavy talent, like it's going to be loaded.
You have two number ones, and that's like you can't even say definitively you have 2 first-round picks in this class. So it's like night and day difference.
Yeah. So that's kind of my take on the Detroit Lions, especially with a guy like Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean, you draft him, and he's going to be a great linebacker for 10 years. I really believe it.
I mean, my opinion is if you end up if some of these teams start reaching for wideouts and corners, which I think there's a good chance that happens just because that's what the teams at the back end need, I think you can get a really good player at 32.
Daxton Hill.
Whether that's a Dean, Lloyd, Dax, yeah.
So much loaded talent. You can even go edge if you don't go edge at 2. If you get Kyle Hamilton at 2, there's some going to be like Arnold Ebiketie at 32 would be awesome, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fine place.
They have 2 picks early second round as well. Like they have some serious capital to really build a roster. I don't think you should waste a premier draft pick on a quarterback that is just like Matt Corral. I don't think he's going to be
especially not when you're going to be like sorry again. And that's probably just the facts.
Some serious potential for the Lions to be awesome in a couple of years, but they need to be patient, I think.
Yeah.
That's a review on the 2022 NFL mock draft by Charles Davis. Obviously, we appreciate you guys for following along, listening to us. We have a blast doing these mocks.
I actually much more agreed with the bulk of that than like a lot.
Yeah, this was one of the more fun mocks because we agree with it. It followed our position ranks, and we don't necessarily have the same position ranks as a lot of the NFL nerds. This guy kind of agrees with us, which is cool. But again, appreciate you guys watching. If you guys like the content, like the video, subscribe, and then leave in the comment section. Where are you going with these picks? We love chopping it up. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.